Now we're going to have Rhiannon and Melissa talk about they are the go-getters when it comes to attending conferences, both in Century 21 and outside. I think these are a great way for not only your education but your networking, but to get business. Right? There's a reason why a lot of these people go. Like there's 800 people that were in Calgary a month ago, and they're all shaking hands and networking and saying that they represent certain markets and certain styles of product and stuff. So I'm going to let Rhiannon start and then give you a couple minutes, and we'll just ping pong back and forth between you and Melissa. So Rhiannon, I got my time clock on.
Sounds good.
Tell us why you go.
Yeah, so primarily, okay, to give you a little bit of background, so this last conference will be the fourth one that I've actually attended. Ottawa, that is coming up, will be the fifth. Ottawa is running September 23rd to 25th, 2024. The reason I end up going is because I've built part of my business on A2A or agent to agent referral. So I do just under 30% of my business from agent to agent every year, and hoping to move that up to probably 37% this coming year. And so that's part of the reason, and the relationships that you get to build across Canada, the sharing of information is probably paramount in all of that. This past year, we put on the first mastermind that was ahead of conference. So I presented on Chat GPT advanced prompts, and we're actually, as of yesterday, planning out the next one for conference in Ottawa, and starting to get save the dates. That'll be up and out, I think, next week. If any of you are not in the conference group on Facebook, I highly recommend it. Lots of good information there. Referrals are passed back and forth through that portal as well. And really, it is about creating the relationships and the sharing of knowledge, because it's, I know that our office is a little bit different. Lots of people are definitely of a very abundant mindset and ready to share information, but that's not the case everywhere. And to be able to tap into a huge brain trust of amazing realtors across Canada who have maybe dealt with a problem that you've dealt with, or or have solutions for things that you might be taking a look at. I mean, it's a huge bonus to have that kind of group of people with a depth of knowledge in your back pocket at any given point in time. So that's part of it for me.
Yes,
and of course the partying. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Melissa, why don't you tell us what you get out of it as well? I know there's going to be some similarities, and you got to take your mic off. There you go. So you have at it.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I definitely see the value in going. It is a bit of an expense, but if you get one referral, generally it's 25%, some more, some less. But building that network of people where you're going to get a client that you would never have encountered otherwise, and someone's pretty much handing it to you, because most of the time, if someone suggests you for a referral, it's a done deal. You already have the client, they trust you, they've already, kind of got you the interview. And then over time, as you build those referral networks, people are telling people in their office to use you. And then you kind of like, it goes over time. I've been to 4 conferences as well, 1 national one and 3 Canadian ones. I mean, we live in Vancouver. I would say we have a global presence. We have people coming and going all the time. I think it's one of the most transient cities in the world. Definitely, I think a referral network is essential here, not even something to consider. I think it's ultra important. I definitely agree, as much as building business relationships and learning about other markets, which is important when you're doing relocation, and I've been doing a lot of relocation and also have made that move myself. I see the more information that you possess in other markets, it's just puts you over and above the others, and you can support your clients better in finding what they need and helping them make those moves. Your knowledge base is greater. and also the relationships you've built. Like I would say some of the people that I met at conference have become my very close friends as well. And I've had a lot of other opportunities and experiences due to our relationships that are built. It's also a lot of fun. But I think that networking in general is one of the greatest tools to building your business. It has been for me. Between conference and my networking group, it's been, limitless at the exposure and access you have to new people that you just can't get online because it's a personal touch. I mean, I guess it's not for everyone. I'm definitely a social butterfly, so it works for me. But I definitely think there could be these opportunities for everyone. It's definitely worth checking out. And it's definitely, I would agree with Rhiannon, like I probably get 25-30% of my businesses from agent to agent referrals, even within BC as well.
That's good. And I know you both are in these business network associations. So you mentioned it, Melissa. Rhiannon, can you explain the one that you're in? And then Melissa, are you in one, Melissa? You're shaking your head.
No, I'm not in BNI. I have my own networking group that I created. And then I have some other ones that I'm a part of.
So Rhiannon will talk, I'm pointing because I think I know where you guys are. Rhiannon will talk about the business network and talk about your own one, because they're both unique. And it's what we're here for, is to get business from our sphere of influence. So Foster?
Yeah, I actually wanted to just echo something that Melissa said about conference. It is an investment, and every year I invest the money to have a networking table, plus to do giveaways and to have little, things that we give away to everybody who comes to the booth. And it is an investment, but it comes back tenfold. I mean, while I sat at my booth at conference, I had 5 referrals. So 1 for a property to be sold, 2 assignments to offload, and 2 people relocating to Vancouver. And that was just there for the 3 days. So, and that's not the rest of the year. So the investment is well worth the time, just like Melissa was saying. Like, I fully agree with that.
Question. What does it cost you without the table? What are you all in for? Flight, food, booze, hotel? What do you think?
I would say generally it's about $3,000, like off, just like as a standard number, you're probably going to invest $3,000 a conference with like your flight, your hotel, your food, and your ticket. And I would say, like, if you get you only need 1 referral to pay for that. And it's actually going to pay for it and then some, but you're probably going to get 4 or 5 per year.
Those numbers accurate, Rhiannon?
Yeah, I pay more, obviously, having the booth and, getting promotional items and all of that done. And of course, going to do the masterminds, because we take the additional 3 days. But in general, I mean, there's tons of people who are happy to split rooms a lot of the time. So, but I'm more expensive than that. But again, I got 5 referrals from it. So it's all but paid for already. Right.
Okay, so Rhiannon, you didn't talk about the Business Network Association. Give us a closed notes version of what it is.
Yeah, so I've got 2 of them that I'm a part of. So starting a BNI chapter, which is Business Networking International, and it's an international networking association that is the largest of its kind in the world. When you join one, it is 1 seat per profession. So there's only 1 residential realtor, 1 commercial realtor, 1 mortgage broker that does residential, 1 mortgage broker that does commercial. So you're guaranteed sort of referrals in that network. And the idea is that you build trust with the individuals in your group, but you also have access to the people who are in the greater group. So that's not only in the Lower Mainland, but of course in British Columbia and then worldwide. There are plenty of people in Century 21 who are in BNI as well. So those referrals can be done in both the network and the BNI space. So I've been since 2014 trying to get into a chapter. That is how competitive it is in this city to get into a BNI chapter. And so basically I had to create my own, because that's the easiest way for a real estate agent to get into one, because they are very hard to come by. That's my first networking group. The second one, I'm the chair of the LGBTQ Business Association in British Columbia. And then through that network, it's a completely different aspect of networking that I get done over on that side. And that is primarily focused in helping build not only scholarship opportunities, but business opportunities for the community across British Columbia and a little bit into Canada now that we've changed some of the scholarship rules and looking at changing some more moving forward to do micro grants and micro donations. So yeah.
Cool. That's pretty impressive. And Melissa, you started your own, and tell us how many first showed up and what was your last one? I think your last one was a boat cruise. So tell us how it's in the short period of time, how it's expanded.
Yeah, so I started in April. It's something I wanted to do for some time, and obviously COVID put restrictions on that. But so I had the first one at our office to kind of, and each time's been a learning experience because I'm kind of gauging, what people respond to, what kind of structure is involved and everything else. So the first one I had show up, I think it was 28 people for my first meeting. And I've had I had one event that was a beach barbecue at Sunset Beach, which we had 57 people show up to, which was amazing. My boat cruise was 40. I had a yacht party, and kind of, I kind of use a little bit of inner business with whoever joins, and then also with clients. I do have some clients that are part of the network group. There's not as much structure as BNI because what I was hearing from people was they felt it was too much of a commitment once a week, which, I mean, for me, it wouldn't be too much of a commitment for me. I see the value in that, but it's not for everybody. Like, I also don't have small children. I'm single. I have the time to give. So I can see why people feel that way, but I do think BNI is very it's a successful tool. So I wanted to create something that was a little bit different, that basically was appealing to the people that were BNI is not for them. So we meet once a month. I do a different event every month. It's pretty much consistently, I've never had less than 45 people at each event. We had the yacht party was one, the beach barbecue was one. I've had a Mexican night at the pawn shop. I try to do something different every time so that it keeps people interested. And I pretty much had the same people consistently showing up because they're kind of building those relationships between them. I would say everyone said that they've got at least 5 new clients. That I've had since April. I think I've had 7 events. And then I've got a new one at a brewery coming up in November. Mine so far has been just based on the honor system, and it seems to be working. We're going to implement some structure coming into the new year. My goal was 6 months, and just to let people vet themselves, which seems to be working based on their commitment level and everything else, and just not forcing people to show up. But we will eventually have the same kind of structure in having one spot for each person. Like, there's no other realtors in my network group, just me. That's something I'm definitely holding on to. Some people are not as, maybe they're too busy already and things, and they're open to having new people. And it seems to be working. I've got developers, some people from some commercial brokerages, commercial HVAC, and like building inspectors, lawyers, all different industry, like kind of all real estate industry, but still everything else. Some people have salons and spas and a dog walking group, and brand strategists and photographers. Like, we do everything, and I keep it pretty inclusive. And it seems to be working out best because I kind of, as I said, I see the people that were right in the beginning, like, yeah, I'll be there every month, and they've shown up once, or, where some people come every month. And I wanted to try it that way, and it seems to be working. People are vetting themselves, and we show up, we share experiences, we share business ideas. There's not as much of a structure as BNI where this is like, I've been to a BNI before, and it's just like, this is what they do each time. And there's an expectation of that, and people share. we're doing that just on a different level, I guess. And it's a little bit more self-managed, and it seems to be working for the people that have joined. So yeah, like I think the structure moving into the new year will just be more or less of who's part of it and getting more of a commitment from people. I've been selling tickets for it each time, so they haven't been paying right away, which if I'm moving into the new year, once we decide on who will be part of it and who's committing to it, I'll probably ask for a small monetary amount. I have never charged. The only thing I charged a lot for was the boat cruise, which it wasn't a lot for what it was. It was $100 for the yacht party, but it was inclusive of food, alcohol, the boat. We had a DJ, like we had props, like it was pretty cheap in the long and short of things, but generally the tickets have been $25, but it can be a lot of work to sell them and then set it all up if I don't do it at a venue that I'm in control of. Like the times I've done it at restaurants, and that's a little more challenging, but I wanted to keep it affordable. Definitely notice that people are really missing in-person connection. And you know, it's a big part of our business. We're in the people business more than anything else. So yeah, I love it though. It's far exceeded my expectations. And I've been having people reach out to me from different social media groups and stuff, offering to help me, offering to donate stuff, wanting to be a part of it and things like that. So that's pretty exciting too. And also kind of showing the power of social media.
Well, that's, you know, these things you only get if you give. And the same thing with the referral network, whether you're going to an awards event or conference, you got to get up and shake the hands and meet the people. That's the only way that you're going to get a relationship going. And you got to try to give some referrals out too, right? It's B&Is, they expect so many referrals every year from that person to all the other 11 people, whatever the number is that sits at the table, to the plumber, to the lawyer, to the realtor type of thing. And you've got to be tooting everybody else's horns. So yeah, so you know, that was a quick little synopsis of different networks and conferences, because this is a tough job. Melissa nailed it. It's a relationship job. It will always be that. And if you can put an honest effort in to helping other people achieve their goals, finding them business, it'll come back to you as well. Did Rhiannon, do you have anything else that you want to add before, and you too, Melissa, before we close this off, and then I can ask anybody here if they have any questions?
No, I just echo what Melissa said. It is 100% belly to belly, face to face business that we're in, and you know, it makes such a huge difference to be able to have people. Well, now that we're back from all the pandy stuff, it's to have people in rooms together, creating that synergy. That's really where magic happens, and that's for everybody. So highly recommend to get out, even go visit a BNI, any networking group. There's tons of them out there. They're meeting every day, every week. They're doing awesome events like Melissa does on a boat, and really well worth going to meet the people.
Perfect. Melissa?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, it's been probably I look back to some of the networking groups I went to, even when I first became a realtor, like just months into it, and I still have those relationships with people. And recognizing, I guess a big one is recognizing this, but this is for all about real estate, is recognizing that building these relationships, going to these networking groups, they're not always going to pay off right away. But I have had many people come back to me 3 years later. Hey, we met at this networking event. Can you be my realtor? I think it's really important, especially with newer realtors, to pay attention to the fact that you should never, ever lose a contact or connection, and know that just because something didn't come turn into a deal right away, maintaining those relationships, which this kind of my style of networking group is doing, because it's just kind of creating a community. It's not always just right about the immediate business. It's like building those kind of relationships and friendships and stuff, but you're always top of mind because you're meeting regularly, and that it might not happen in 2 months. It might happen in 2 years, but it will happen.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. I owe you a glass of wine, so we'll go out and have a little toast for our appreciation, Heather and I, to say thank you for that.